I know it's happened many different times in the past, but I'm always a huge fan of whenever a hero who's known for fighting one particular villain kind of switches over and fights a different villain from someone else's rogue gallery. This happens this week in the Green Lantern Corps when Hal Jordan and Kyle Rayner take on Zod and Ursa and their son and the Eradicator.
I'm in love with the hero. I'm in love with the one who will.
Hello, comic book people of the world. It is Comic Book Day, and a few good ones really came out this week, including Doomsday Clock, which is moving incredibly slow, and I just found out they're going to be moving to a bi-monthly basis, so it means that we're not going to get answers for an even longer period of time, but I won't go into that. Let me show you what I got. First, I read Detective Comics issue 973, Fall of the Batman finale. Poor Clayface, he's such a tragic hero slash villain. Everyone felt really bad for him, even though we all knew he was going to be a villain at some point down the line, but still the whole tragic history of everything that he's gone through and what he's going to be going through is just something that you gotta feel for. And unfortunately, Batwoman is a part of everything, and it also looks as though the adult Tim Drake may have been right about some things that may be happening. Batman Beyond issue number 16, Batman versus the Stalker. The whole issue is just them battling it out, with Batman Beyond Terry McGinnis having his suit not exactly up to par, so he has a bit of a disadvantage going up against him. Marvel 2-in-1 issue number 2, Thing and the Human Torch. Ben Grimm has lied to the Human Torch as to the fate of Mr. Fantastic and the Invisible Woman and their kids. Even though the readers know that they're alive, Johnny Storm does not know that, and Ben Grimm is just lying to him, saying that they are still out there just in another universe. It's more so just to give the Human Torch some hope. This is starting off their adventure and trying to find them, with Dr. Doom getting into the mix of everything, but he is Dr. Doom, so you know he's not exactly a good guy. Thanos issue number 15. Thanos has been flung into the far future, where he meets his future self, and a cosmic Ghost Rider who turns out to be Frank Castle. The whole purpose of this encounter is because the future Thanos has lost death, and he has to take on an entity known as the Fallen. For some reason, he needs his younger counterpart to help him. It's an interesting story. All of the heroes of the future have all been killed. I'm a big Thanos fan, and I love seeing his adventures. Phoenix Resurrection issue number 4 of 5. They're really close to getting Jean Grey back. There's like this cosmic phoenix egg that has its own reality, and it also has the spirit or the body, maybe the whole embodiment of Jean Grey in it. So of course the X-Men are inside trying to get her back. There's some cosmic-y, phoenix-y stuff going on in this, but ultimately we do know the ending result of what this story's gonna do. The story's cool because it's bringing in a lot of different X characters you probably may not have thought too much about in a while, so I'm liking it just for that aspect alone. Justice League of America issue number 23. This storyline is somewhat confusing. This is Deadly Fable Part 2. The first Monarch, known as Saritsa, is coming into play, and she's defeated the Justice League. However, the Ray comes in, who is off on his own adventure, and he saves them. Because I'm not too familiar with the background of this character, I'm not really quite sure what her end results are hoping to be. But it's written by Steve Orlando, and it is a fun adventure nonetheless. The Flash issue number 39, The Perfect Storm Part 1, Grodd is back. As the title is suggesting, Gorilla Grodd is being brought back into the fold, and this entire story is really leading more up to the idea about him wanting to steal the Speed Force away from Barry Allen. I've always been interested in the rivalry between Grodd and the Flash. You wouldn't think that they would be rivals, but they are, so I always love seeing them duke it out. It doesn't happen in this issue, but in the next one, I'm sure that's gonna happen. Wonder Woman issue number 39, Swan Song Part 2. The previous issue introduced a brand new Silver Swan, and it's one of those stories where she starts out being a fan of Wonder Woman, and then later goes on to hate her. This is somewhat of a cut and dry storyline, however, there is a background story going on with Grail and Darkseid. Their storyline is what I'm more interested in than anything else, but I'm sure that subplot is going to be coming to the main storyline very soon. Action Comics issue 996, Booster Shot Part 4. Booster Gold and Superman are still doing their timey-wimey adventure, and unfortunately they're in an alternate New Krypton Earth. Or maybe it is the actual New Krypton future. I'm not really quite sure at this point. But on New Krypton, Zod is pretty much ruling supreme, but in this case, being that it's slightly in the future, his son is somewhat in charge. So I'm sure we're going to probably get a huge battle between Superman and Lord Zod, which happens to be a son. Speaking of Zod and Hal Jordan in the Green Lantern Corps issue number 37, we have Zod's Will Part 1, where Kyle Rayner and Hal Jordan land on New Krypton and inadvertently run into Zod and his family. But this is in the present day, so Lord Zod is still a kid. But regardless though, Kyle and Hal both get their asses handed to them. I'm much more interested in this storyline than I am in Action Comics. And finally, I read Doomsday Clock issue number 3 of 12. Oh my god, this is taking forever to explain anything. It looks like we're getting some little glimpses here and there of a possible JSA return, and maybe an origin of one of the 3 Jokers that could exist in DC Comics. We also get to see the face of the current Rorschach, which many people already speculated as to who it was. This is moving so incredibly slow, and we're just finding out that this title is going to be moving to a bi-monthly basis, meaning that we're not going to get any real answers, or at least not any concrete answers, probably until 2019 or later. It is what it is, and I am enjoying this storyline. I just wish they would kind of ramp it up maybe a little bit. Anyways, though, that's my comic load for this week. What did you guys read? Leave comments down below and let me know. If you read any of these comic books, let me know what you thought about them. But with that, thank you guys for watching me in this video. I will join you guys in another video very soon. Peace, love, and I'll stand. I'll see you guys later. Peace. Oh yeah, check out my Patreon site, my social media sites, my websites, and everything else out there. Peace.
Will always win. He's a prominent figure.
Batman locked up Rorschach into Arkham like nothing. I mean, isn't there some sort of tests and trials or some sort of evaluations before people are really locked up in a mental asylum?